Good morning, Claremont Club. I'm Ray. I'm a trainer at the club, and today we're going to work on running through stretches for the lower body. So this will be a group of stretches that will hit the major muscle groups of the lower body, and hopefully this will be useful if you went for a run, maybe you did a hike, maybe you're sore from doing a boot camp with a really great trainer, who knows. So what we'll do is you can just follow along. We're going to get started with hamstrings. And so we're going to start seated, legs long, body is nice and tall. And this is just an L-sit stretch here. If you feel some hamstring stretch right off the bat, perfect, you can just hold it. Or you can press those hands into the floor behind you, rather right by your sides. Make a nice tall torso and spend some time here. If this isn't really doing a whole lot for you, then let's pull one foot in close. And now just focusing on the left leg. So left leg is long. Fingertips can reach forward toward your toes, toward your foot, I should say. We're still keeping a pretty tall torso though. And you can change the angle of the stretch by either walking your fingertips over toward the right, or maybe walking those fingertips over toward the left. And with these static stretches where we're holding that stretch, this is best suited for after the workout, maybe end of the day. Go ahead and switch legs. These long stretches are better suited for after the activity is done. And if you were to do, some warm-up work, some mobility work beforehand, before the workout, that's where we want to focus more on dynamic movements, where you're not spending quite as much time just holding a stretch. So like I said, this is better for when the work is over, maybe after the hike, after the run, after the workout, to help deal with any soreness you might have, any stiffness, and then maybe to prevent muscles from tightening up on you. So again, we're sort of shifting the angles side to side here. Next, what we're going to do is just a sort of a standard stretch. You've probably done a butterfly stretch before. Soles of the feet are going to come together. You can sort of scoot your butt in close to your heels or pull your heels in close to your butt, however you want to do that. Clasp your hands around your feet and then use those hands to help pull your torso up tall here. An alternative would be to maybe clasp your ankles with your hands and then use your elbows to press your knees down toward the floor. Either way, we're going for a nice stretch through the adductors, so sort of inside of the thighs. And then we're going to use those elbows to push the knees out wide, open up those hips just a little more. Spend a little time here. Again, if it feels helpful to sort of pivot the upper body side to side to change the angle of the stretch, I highly recommend. And as we're running through these stretches, it's worthwhile to focus on steady breathing, taking some deep breaths once you're in the stretch, so that we can help the muscles that we're focusing on stretching, we can help them relax rather than feeling bound up and tight if we're holding our breath. All right, let's come on out of this butterfly stretch. We're going to go into a piriformis stretch next. So what that will look like is start with both feet on the floor, knees bent, and then I want you to pick up your right foot. Keep that right foot flexed, set it on top of the left knee. Now from here, you can start to scoot your butt closer to your heel, and that's going to deepen the stretch. You can also walk those hands in a little bit closer to make that stretch a little more spicy, a little more aggressive. So you should feel this through the back of the right leg right now, sort of below your butt. Piriformis muscles are, got a bug on my knee. Go on, buddy. Piriformis muscles are sort of deep to your butt muscles, so it's going to feel like it's sort of below your butt, top of the hamstrings. Let's switch sides here. You gotta pardon the dirty soles of my feet. Again, maybe you've got to start a little bit further away from the heel that's planted on the floor. And then as you get comfortable with that stretch, you can start to scoot your butt in closer. Either way works. But we want to spend enough time here that the muscles you're intending to stretch will start to loosen a little bit. Let you move a little deeper into that stretch. After this, we are going to come up tall. We're going to set up in a lunge position. We're going to work on stretching the hip flexors. So engage your abs, keep your glutes tight, and then think of tucking your tailbone so that as we press the hips forward, we're keeping a nice neutral spine, a nice flat spine, and we're really specifically stretching hip flexors in maybe a more subtle way than if we were to just dive the hips forward. Go ahead and switch sides. Again, we're tucking the tailbone, keeping abs tight, and then pressing those hips forward. We're spending enough time here to get some mileage out of the stretching that we're doing and to feel some benefit. We're not just hanging here for 5 seconds. Maybe it's 30 seconds. Maybe it's 60 seconds. Maybe you do a couple rounds of each stretch in order to feel that you've provided some benefit. So now we're going to come back to that first side that we were stretching, but we're going to add in the quad stretch as well, meaning that we're pulling that back foot up toward our butt. So pull your heel in close to your butt, keep that tall torso, so you'll still get some hip flexor stretch, but we're also adding in those quads. If it's hard for you to rest on your knee like this, then you can do a standing quad stretch, which would simply be pulling your heel in toward your butt one leg at a time while standing. So switching sides here. Stay tall. Pull your heel in as close to your butt as you can while still keeping your balance and still keeping your hips forward. Now from there, bear in mind that I'm not a yoga teacher. We've got really talented yoga teachers at the club, so I won't pretend to be one, but I am going to steal a downward facing dog, which if you start from a push-up position, you're simply going to send those hips up toward the sky while keeping a flat back. Imagine that somebody has pulled your hips up. If you think of sort of like a belt around your waist that has been hoisted up toward the sky. Legs are relatively straight, back is flat. Heels may not touch the floor. That's totally fine.
think of drawing your chest toward your knees. The reason that we're here is that we're getting not only some hamstring stretch, but if we now pedal out those feet, so press one heel at a time toward the floor. This is going to be a really, really nice calf stretch. Good ankle mobility here. And also a nice sort of bonus stretch for the shoulders. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time here. We're going to come back to the push-up position, and now we'll specifically stretch one calf at a time. So I've got my left foot on top of my right heel, pressing that heel toward the floor. I'm also using my hands to press my body away from the floor. Let's switch legs. So actively engaging those shoulders to press the floor away. And that'll give you a little more time on those hands before your shoulders feel really fatigued. Let's go back one more time to that first side. Switch back one last time here. Come on out of that stretch. Give those shoulders a break. Nice work today. Hopefully this was useful for you, gave you some new ideas for stretching the lower body. If you want to write down the stretches that we did today, you can carry those with you if you're out finishing your run, finishing your hike, and you want to do some stretching right then and there. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing everybody back at the club soon, and have a great day. Bye.